Have you ever thought about creating an escape room in your class? In today's episode, we sit down with Samantha Major, math teacher at Stratford High School, about the escape room she created. Her escape room combined technology and physical tasks centered around probability and statistics. In this episode, we discuss the how and why of the escape room, her implementation, and what she plans to do next. Enjoy. All right, welcome to the Innovation Squadcast. We are on location here in an escape room created by Miss Major here, Sam Major. This is obviously, we meet again. This is, we've had many conversations and you keep doing amazing things. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to keep coming and talking to you. So we appreciate all the work that you're doing and what you put together. And so kind of talk about, this escape room thing that you are building and how it came together let's just talk about
how this whole thing came to be. Yeah, this is a lot. Well, it started out during COVID when I got really interested with escape rooms because, and we've talked about this, but just, when kids were virtual, getting them to be engaged, however we can. And so these virtual click through escape rooms really stuck out to me. I saw it somewhere. And so I started making them in Google Slides. And so it was all digital, strictly on the computer. And then last year, at the end of the school year, when we were finally allowed to kind of, move around the room and, once restrictions were kind of lessened, I actually built an escape room in my classroom.
Nice.
And it was just, like a typical escape room where they had to solve clues and everything was just in the room.
Right.
And so that was really cool, but it took a lot of work.
Yes.
It took months to plan, and putting it together was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun and I really, really enjoyed it. So this year I really wanted to do it again. But a lot of my time has been, spent with a million different things, but I was making a virtual escape room for my statistics class.
Right.
Because last year they were all specifically for Algebra 2. So the content was a little different. So I've been working on this virtual room in Google Slides for probability specifically. And it was magician themed.
Right.
Because there were, questions about cards and stuff, pulling stuff out of a hat. And so,
all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of really cool.
I don't have the hat anymore. So
I know the hat. I don't know where the hat went, but there's just so many props. And so anyway, I was building it. And then I thought, I've been working so hard on this virtual room. I want to do another physical escape room.
Right.
So what if I combined them? And that's kind of where the idea originally started. I was like, oh, that'd be cool if I could mirror the room, because I already had it set up on Google Slides where it had, the crystal ball and the treasure chest, all of these really specific props.
Yeah.
And so first I was like, okay, I have to recreate this room because I want it to look the same.
Right. And you did.
Oh my gosh. And it was so much easier than you'd think. I feel like teachers just really need to learn to ask.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least at Stratford, that's just how it always is. If anyone needs something, you just
put an email,
an SHS mail, and you get whatever you need in literally seconds. So I sent out this
not
list.
Just one of them, probably 6 of them.
I sent out a list that sounded ridiculous. And I was like, hey guys, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to need some props.
Right.
I need a bird cage.
Yep.
I need some books, fake books. I'm going to need a top hat. I need a treasure chest.
Yeah.
I need all these random things. And immediately I was like, I have this. Usually the theater department pulls through because they have all kinds of props.
Right.
So I got everything I needed right away. They even brought it to me. Someone had a crystal ball. And so that was really awesome. That helped me out a lot. It kind of gave me the motivation to okay, now I have this room. Now I got to figure out how this is going to work, because it made it more confusing. It was okay, I have all these clues set up in the virtual one.
Right.
How am I going to incorporate? I don't want these props to just be props. I want them to have to, look around. So it took, I will say, months of planning.
Yeah.
Just a little here and there. If I had a good chunk of my planning, I would spend about an hour on it and, get a little bit further. So over a couple months, I finally had it all figured out. I have a lot of the locks that you gave me.
Yep.
So I had a lot of actual lock boxes. So what I did was I just, instead of having the code be on there, they actually had to figure out the code on the physical
boxes,
lock
right.
on the boxes. Yeah. So that's kind of how it went, where they have clues that were in the actual virtual room.
Correct.
But then there were also clues hidden around the props. So one of the best tools that I've used in the last escape room I did last year and this one is that the blue light,
yes.
the invisible marker.
Yes, that's the toughie. That's definitely the tough part. As I went through it, I was like, and luckily, one of the teachers said, check the black light again.
Right.
And then that's what helped with the code. Yeah.
Well,
that's tricky.
but it's a great tool. Like if you want to build one of these because it's invisible ink, so you're not ruining anything, and you just write on stuff, and that's what it's like hidden in plain sight, but it's not. It makes it cool because you shine the light, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even see this."
Exactly.
So that's where most of the clues on the props came from, is just the black light,
right?
And then that was really it. Like I utilized some dice, I had cards, I had the 3 different colored balls under the cups.
Yep. And at the same time, you're teaching and reviewing probability and
right,
statistics,
exactly.
right? And so there's that huge element of it still comes back to standards. It still comes back to curriculum, and they're in a fun, engaging way that students love your escape rooms. I know that every year kids are like, "I want Miss Major's room." They had
so much fun last year. Last year it was for Algebra 2,
right?
But they had so much fun. And probability is like the section of prob and stats that the kids typically hate. Like it's because it's hard. And it's like, the middle of the semester,
right.
Most of them are seniors. Like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to talk about the probability of
right.
picking a heart from a deck of cards. But so I specifically wanted to do it in this unit because it makes it fun.
Absolutely. Because you got the little carrot at the end, like, listen, you need to know this because if you want to win getting out of the escape room, your team wants to win.
Exactly.
So you built, again, smaller escape room today. Again, teachers came in and really had a great time with that. What did you enjoy about that today?
I loved.
What did you see?
It was hysterical. So
watching social studies teachers do math.
Oh yeah.
No offense to my fellow social studies teachers, but I was feeling your pain with the probability.
Oh yeah. My first group was mostly social studies peeps. So I had the idea to test it out with the teachers. Aside from the math part, I figured I can help out with that. It's just fun.
Oh yeah.
And it would be a really great, morale, team building type of thing. We haven't been doing a lot of that lately. So I just thought it would be fun. And a lot of people signed, a lot of people were interested from all different departments, which was great.
Absolutely.
So I had 4 groups.
Nice.
So there's 3 before yours. The first group was mostly social studies. They did have Mark Nevada, so he's in the math department. So he helped out a little bit.
I went with a whole team of math teachers, so I just got to sit back and just shine the light everywhere.
Yes, you had the flashlight job. It's okay. It's important.
Yeah.
So depending on the math ability in the room, I helped out a little bit. So the first 2 groups that came in, I actually stood in the room with them just to kind of guide them a little bit. But then I thought that was what I wanted to not do this time, because when I did the escape room last time, I kind of had to guide them. I basically had to tell them what to do. And I really wanted it to be like, no, good luck. Timer starts now. Like, I'm out of here. And so the second 2 groups, I finally decided to set up the camera next door in Jen's room so I could actually just watch and still give hints when needed. But
help kind of facilitate. Yeah. Somebody's super stuck. Yeah.
Exactly. So but it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was funny, especially when I was watching from the other room. My second group had who did I have in the second group? Oh, Miss Diaz.
Okay, yeah.
She came up and did it. Yep, I had some teachers that even had kids here, and they came up and did it. Our 2 theater teachers, and so that was a great group. And then I had some kids actually that were here for a math meet.
Okay.
We had a math meet for Mu Alpha Theta this morning. So they were like, math escape room, can we do it?
Absolutely.
And so I was like, yeah. So a couple of them joined some adults for my third group.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
that was the first one that I watched from over there.
Yeah.
And it was hysterical.
I bet.
And then the math teacher group that you joined.
Yeah.
So they have been
luckily
they have been waiting for it for weeks, because I've been nagging them like, I need you guys to try this out.
They were getting after it. It was great.
Oh,
watch them do the probability so quickly. They were just
Anne was like, actually, she's the reason I really got into the escape room thing, which we've talked about before. The virtual ones, she had one made from like way before COVID, just as a fun thing. And I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I want to do this. And then I went down that rabbit hole.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So definitely, check out, we'll put in the show notes, we'll put a link to you did a digital breakout presentation for us and the Innovation Summit, the Flipped Innovation Summits.
Yes.
And definitely email, any of your ILCs and we can get you in contact with, or you can just email Samantha Major right here at BCSD and
Major S.
Yep. And she could send you some resources. She's been awesome about sharing, what she's been doing here. And so what's the next step then? So we got Teacher Day was the trial day, right?
Right. This was the trial day. And so now I'm going to have to do this all over again.
Okay.
With my kids.
But you had to pick up and learn some things. And
exactly.
Make
Well,
some tweaks
and there were some tweaks that I wrote down today and that's why I really, needed to do this. It was it was for everybody else, but it was for, a good trial run. So I am going to make those adjustments. And then, we were supposed to be kind of around probability right now. We're a couple days behind. So that's right. I am unfortunately going to have to take this all down and then put it all back up again. But that's okay.
It's not too much.
It's really not. It's all furniture that I had in here anyway. But this was something that was new that I didn't do last year was the drapes, like making it an actual room.
It felt.
I think that was my favorite part. Yeah. It really makes it feel like you're in an actual escape room. Like when and it's about the same size. Like if you've actually been to one of those escape room places. Oh, they're so fun. Yeah. I think they're so fun. Maybe I'm just an escape room nerd.
What's the best one that you've been to here? You give somebody a good recommendation.
Well, to be honest, most of the ones that I've been to are back home in Connecticut. Okay. New Haven has so many, and every time I go home, it's something. Some of my friends from high school, it's just something that we've been into for a while. So, but here I've been to the one on the market, downtown, super touristy, but their rooms are really great. They typically stay the same because, they're pretty expensive. Right. It's not like they can rotate them like movies, but, I like the scary ones. There's usually themes. I've been on the coolest one I think I've been on was a train. Okay. And so the actual room was like a train, you were in a train cart.
Wow.
It was actually built like a train and there were two different carts that you could go in. Typically the ones that I've been in, there's always one main room and then some little hidden tiny room that you have to crawl into.
Interesting.
That seems to be the common denominator. Every time I'm in one, some sort of little trap door opens and there's a little second room that someone that's small has to go in.
That's you probably.
Usually it's me. But I like the scary ones. I like the ones that are murder mystery themed.
Gotcha.
So that's why I kind of liked that I picked a theme for this one because it's the same kind of gist where there's some sort of theme.
Magician, right?
Yeah, this one was a little bit magician themed.
The cup.
Yeah.
You had a magician's hat here. You had cards and stuff like that. Yeah, that was really cool. So all again centered around the idea of probability. Which it was really crazy.
Math can be cool.
Absolutely,
it can be.
So you got what was really neat about this one is you have this, the digital kind of, escape room here. And I don't know if I hit this, what it'll do.
The music will start.
Oh, the music. That's fine. And so you got these different rooms that you've built and then you've got different places that you can go. And then, so this is clickability inside of the Google slide and you had the clickability, and the customizability inside of the room for him to get out. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
What's next?
Oh, well, I don't know how I can get bigger and better than this, to be honest.
You can do it.
That I'm sure I can. I literally, at this point, and I was talking to my mom about this, it's at this point, you might as well just open up an escape room place of your own. It could be a tutoring center. You can make it all education related. Right. And
are you going to let other classes come in besides your classes this
That's
time?
the goal. Okay. I would like, because there's a lot of prob and stat
classes
sections this semester. There's eight of them and I only have 2. So that is the goal.
Yes.
I've got to figure out, with scheduling, where my kids are going to go when other kids are doing it. Well, I'm going to see if we can do a classroom flip flop. Actually, you know what I think would be cool? I'm just thinking of this now is I had the camera set up. I was in Jen's room watching you guys do it. I could take another class, put them in here. My class can go in with me and watch them.
Yeah.
Because it's hysterical and it's funny. So that would be a good idea. Yeah. But so I would like to get at least all the prob and stat courses in here because it's relatable to their content. So why not? But I have a section of geometry and they're all they've seen me work on this for weeks and they're like, can we do it? And I was like, of course you can. I'll help you with the stats part, but
Right.
they're just excited about it too. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think also I'd love to see students create one of these. Don't you think this would be a great project?
Yes.
Like kind of work towards at the end of the year of like, building all the different standards, taking a component of each part of your unit, putting it together to build this
definitely
kind of infinite, escape room that they could all put together.
Absolutely. And like at least starting at the whole like Google Slide virtual level. I remember when I did the Innovation Summit, Poole said that he wanted to do it for his engineering class.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to have them build them.
Yeah.
Like, just the whole process of, it's not really coding, but linking, like making the buttons, linking something to another page, creating the actual images themselves. Like it's a lot of that, like that technical stuff.
And the critical thinking, that work and life skill is huge when it comes to it. Yeah. To think about, all right, I got to do this to do that. And think about, how, what could go wrong, what could they click that would get in the way of that, which is really cool about yours is that it really didn't matter what you clicked. That took a lot of that critical thinking.
That was the difference from this escape room and last year's escape room, because last year's was like they had to do this before they did this, so that's why I kind of had to steer them in the right direction. And so that's what took me a long time, was figuring out how can I make it not matter like what they do first. And it is a lot of critical thinking, so it is great skills for them to be doing.
When I did my escape room, when it was the same thing, it was like I needed them to kind of go in a certain order. So I had keys, and so if they just found the key, they could jump how many paces ahead of where they were. So, which is good you didn't have any keys, because that really could throw it off. But
exactly.
Unless you had the one key at the end, I guess maybe that opened up something. But as far as I'd love to be able to see like what kids would be able to create with one of these as like a final project. So I think that should be.
And if they all like actually built something like this together, like that would be really cool.
Work and life skills would be huge there, because
absolutely
got leadership opportunities, time management, critical thinking, creativity. It'd be really cool to see. So.
Yeah, I mean that's stuff that like I've been learning myself just from doing this, and so I mean they would definitely benefit from building one of their own. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I'd love to make it like school wide. I guess that's what's next.
I think so. Yeah.
Is maybe, maybe there's a space other than my classroom, because, I'm going to need this board back on Monday. So I can't have this
we
here.
got some teaching to go.
We have some things throughout the year, like the theater department puts on the haunted house, and that runs for like a certain amount of days. So maybe, we get a bunch of math students together and we just build an escape room somewhere
like a weekend fundraiser kind of thing.
That people can just go in and do. And because I mean, I think it was fun. I think it's
very fun.
I think everyone had a great time.
Obviously not being able to help much with the math, but being able to watch other people and how much they got into it. And then when I started, flashing things around, when these opened up, I'm like, that's so cool.
I know. Just the discovery part is fun.
And then Davis, I think, was one figured out the book. Like I never would have figured out that.
Pi Day on March 14th was where the hidden message was.
And then know to actually go read the book. And then figure out that you had to. It was
and things kept going back and forth, right? So okay, now we got to go to the virtual bird cage, and then back out to the real bird cage.
It was very impressive. So.
Thank you.
I definitely. Invite me back when the kiddos do it, because I love to watch them do it.
I'm interested to see if they're going to do better.
Than the teachers?
I think they will. I think they will.
Because they got probability fresh in the brain.
Exactly.
So you taught them up, so they're ready to roll.
Exactly. Once I'm done with them, they'll be like so ready. Yeah.
But as long as they can figure out the blacklight thing, that's the trick. I think if they don't get that hint or figure that out, because
that's the biggest piece, because that's how all of the clues are given.
Didn't you did you hide the batteries in a separate one?
Yeah. Okay. So and what's funny is as I was making this, it got harder and harder and harder, because I kept saying, no, it's too easy. I can't just give them the flashlight. I got to hide the batteries. They have to they don't deserve the batteries right away.
Absolutely.
They have to earn the batteries. And so that's like what kept happening, is that it just kept getting more and more complex the more I thought about it.
Absolutely.
Which made it more fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was great. It was really well done.
And the timing was good. I felt like most of the groups were done in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, it was a good amount of time.
Not too frustrating, but we're not going to be in here for hours, but enough that it made it fun and exciting, and it was awesome. It was really well done. This is super awesome what you're doing. We really appreciate it. Keep doing great things, and keep inviting us back whenever. And I really appreciate this kind of short notice podcast. Yeah. I'm here. I had my equipment.
Why not? Let's do it. We got all the stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming. Bye.